Bonjour! How many of you would like to visit the romantic city of Paris? France is actually one of the top visited countries in the world. Its many sites are filled with historical background, which I will inform you all on. You might find this in handy one day if you find yourself visiting a beautiful city and you don't know where to go to. In order to accurately inform you all on these sites, I did my research and I learned about Paris, and here I am to tell you all about it. In my research, I found that the Eiffel Tower, the Notre Dame Cathedral, and Disney in Paris were the top 3 out of hundreds of places to go to while visiting Paris. First, I will talk about the Eiffel Tower, then I will talk about the Notre Dame Cathedral, and finally I will discuss Disney in Paris. Now that I have reviewed my main points, I will talk about the Eiffel Tower. The Eiffel Tower is, you might have heard about the structure, but you don't know why or who built it. In history, we learn about the French Revolution. In order to celebrate the French Revolution, 100 years, the people built this structure. It was only supposed to be a temporary structure, but because there was a lot of doubt in the people, but as we can see, it has still stood until today. Alexandre Gustave Eiffel was the one who designed the Eiffel Tower. Paris held a World Fair in 1889 where different designers could submit their view on how the Eiffel Tower should look. According to Frederick Brown, an author who wrote a journal article about the Eiffel Tower, published in 2008, stated that the structure that Gustave Eiffel envisioned in the 1880s was to serve as the centenary's portal and its beacon. If you see the Eiffel Tower at night, you can see the beacon at the top of the tower and the 4 pillars standing strong facing each a direction on the compass. Now that I have talked about the Eiffel Tower, I will now discuss the Notre Dame Cathedral. The Notre Dame Cathedral has gone through many restorations throughout the years and also additions. The first restoration was to make 2 churches, the remaining of 2 churches into one. This led to the church. The church is so old that there has to be buttresses in order to support it. In the church, you can find glass windows, statues, and towers that are that light up at night. So it's best to go at night. It was also affected during the French Revolution. And Napoleon, which was the emperor at the time, was going to destroy it, but it was actually saved by the people. It went through restorations, and according to Wallet-le-Duc, the architect, in a book published in 1990, he stated that henceforth his thought and work in the field of architecture were to be grounded in the Gothic tradition as opposed to the classical orientation of prevailing taste and practice. The gargoyles, which Wallet-le-Duc added and have been there for centuries, and the glass windows as well, which are big, will certainly leave you breathless. So now that I have talked about the Notre Dame Cathedral, I will discuss Disney in Paris. Disney in Paris is known as Euro Disney. It opened in April 1982, but it first only started as a resort. As if you have been to Disney in Anaheim, their prices are very high and they have been increasing lately. But the tickets in Paris are actually only about $65. So I think it's pretty good for my budget. There's not only a difference in prices, but also the rides. According to Grand Legacy at the Park, a hotel resort for Disney in Anaheim, on October 21st, 2014, there was a lagoon with a skeleton cave and an abandoned pirate ship that was attacked. This park allows you to become immersed in the world of the ride. So the rides there are pretty different, and there's also a roller coaster for all you roller coaster lovers. I would love to experience the cheap prices, but also the different rides of Disney in Paris. Now that I have talked about Disney in Paris, I will bring my speech to a close. First, I talked about the Eiffel Tower, then I talked about the Notre Dame Cathedral, and finally I discussed Euro Disney. Although there are many more sites in Paris to visit, I found that the Eiffel Tower, the Notre Dame Cathedral, and Disney in Paris were the top 3 I wanted to learn more about. I wanted to leave you all with a quote by Ernest Hemingway, a short story writer whose quote was published by Alice Nastasi on July 14, 2013. There are only 2 places in the world you can live happy, at home and in Paris. Thank you.